Today I got to drive to my hangar. I got the last bit of paperwork done, so I got my AOA limited access decal for my Denali. It just makes a big difference being able to drive to the hangar, bring all your tools and supplies. Life is starting to look up.
Hi, I'm Alan. I'm a pilot, sailor, and entrepreneur. And my passion is inspiring others to live life to the fullest. Click subscribe today and join us as we fly, float, and hustle our way through this crazy adventure called life. If not now, when? After 5 long years, it's finally time to get Leilani back in the air. But there's a lot to do before that happens. I need to replace the aging lead acid batteries, lift her off the ground to do a gear swing, check for any hydraulic leaks, run through the basic aircraft systems, and do a thorough pilot's pre-flight inspection. After that, my mechanic Eric will need to complete the FAA annual aircraft inspection and certify Leilani as airworthy and safe to fly. But first, Leilani needs a bath.
My hangar is located right across from the wash rack. This is the only place you're allowed to wash your airplane, and that's because there's a special drainage system that separates out all the oil and petroleum products from the wash water so it doesn't pollute our oceans. All right, shortly after lunch, I haven't eaten yet. I've been working, trying to get this stuff done. Got a little Cessna Skyhawk coming in. That's pretty cool. God, I love general aviation. I just love seeing people learning how to fly, and you know, I'm envisioning my son over here in the South Ramp, hanging out with all these other kids learning to fly. And anyways, on to what I really wanted to talk about. If I were in my 20s, I'd grab an energy drink. Now that I'm 50, I have to be a little bit more conscious about my health. Not only do energy drinks have a lot of really bad things like synthetic B vitamins and taurine and artificial flavors, it doesn't address one of the biggest problems out there, not only for old people like myself, but also for younger people, dehydration. So 75% of us are dehydrated. We think we drink enough water, but we really don't. We need something other than just caffeine and synthetic ingredients. My go-to is green, developed by me originally 10 years ago, later refined by my wife, Dr. Nelly, to incorporate a oral rehydration therapy. What that is basically a very specific ratio of sugar to salt. It rehydrates you as quick as an IV. It's the same science that Dr. Nelly uses in hospitals. Green is basically a combination of that ORT as well as 180 milligrams of caffeine from raw coffee bean caffeine, certified organic. And it's what I rely on to keep me going. It addresses multiple needs, which is the need for electrolytes and hydration and clean caffeine. I highly recommend it. There's a QR code right up here. Visit our website, see what we're all about. If you want to give it a shot, we have a discount code, FFH20, and that's going to give you 20% off any purchase, and you have nothing to lose. You can use it for 30 days, and if you don't love it, again, money back. So that's it. I just wanted to give you guys a little intro to green, and I hope you guys support it. I hope you guys love it. Back to the show. To do the gear swing, we're going to need electric power, and as I mentioned in my previous video, these batteries have been sitting for 9 years, hoping they have enough power in them to operate the gear. But I wanted to kind of show you the old battery system and then talk about a new battery system, a lithium battery system. This is the original lead acid battery system. There are two 14-volt batteries in series, and the lithium batteries are going to save a ton of weight, and they actually produce a lot more power output. You could drain the batteries to 0 without damaging them. And if you did that with the normal lead acid batteries, you definitely shorten the lifespan. Take a little sneak peek at our new lithium batteries. I actually did some research, and the EarthX batteries are only warranted for 2 years. For some reason, I was thinking it was longer than that. My Battleborn batteries on my sailing catamaran are warranted for 10 years, but lithium batteries are known to last 10 to 15 years. I'm actually surprised it's only a 2-year warranty. That kind of is shocking. Anyways, the STC kit is here. 1 battery. Wow, it's a lot smaller. We might actually have a problem here. 14-volt battery. This is only 1 of them. So should have came with 2. I'll send them an email on that. But anyways, it's really lightweight. I've heard nothing but good things about EarthX batteries, so I'm excited to get them installed. Man, I love General Aviation. Cessna 172. I've got a lot of hours in that type of airplane. 25 years ago. I love my career. Yes, sailing catamarans and doing charters is cool. Yes, having businesses on the side is cool, but I tell you what, for your main hustle, there is absolutely, in my humble opinion, no better career choice than being an airline pilot. I'm super stoked to be working on Leilani, back at the hangar, and just looking forward to having my son join me. So anyways, back to the work. So the aircraft has been washed and it's not perfect. I didn't want to give it a full detail. I did want to get it looking halfway decent, and more importantly, get all the dust that could be abrasive off, so that if we rub up against the airplane, we're not scratching the paint. So now we're ready to jack the airplane up, get all 3 wheels, the 2 main landing gears and the nose wheel, off the ground so that we could do a gear swing. To do that, we need to use 2 jack stands, and we have to have a anchor at the tail to keep it from kind of tipping over. And I wanted to kind of show you that equipment that I'm using. This is a jack stand that's specifically designed to lift the aircraft. So there's 2 of them, and that gets placed here right along the wing spar. There's this special nub here, and the female end of the jack kind of mates up against this male stub here, and that keeps it from, slipping off if there's a side load. So there's 2 of those. In order to get that nose wheel to lift off the ground, we need to keep the tail from lifting up. So we use a 600-pound counterweight, and we attach it to the tail tie-down spot here. I'll show you. So this is the tail tie-down spot that we typically use when we park the airplane on the ramp, and we'll use a strap and we attach it to a ground anchor, and that keeps the tail from flying up. Counterweight is used, we attach it to the tie-down spot here with a bolt, and it's designed to kind of fit nicely. So between 2 jack stands and the counterweight at the tail, we're able to completely lift the airplane up off the ground. Yeah, let's get it set up. So this takes a little bit of trial and error. I've got the jack stands putting up pressure on both wing spars. The gear is not off the ground yet, but you could tell that a lot of the load is on the jack stands. The tail started to lift. So I came back and positioned the counterweight, and you can see this counterweight is a little bit too high in relation to the tail. Gotta just crank a little bit more on the 2 jack stands. That's gonna lift the tail up a little bit more.
the wheels are off the ground. All the weight of this aircraft is on this hydraulic ram. The danger of leaving a plane on the jack stands is if there's a hydraulic line failure, like in a seal, this ram will actually lose pressure. So I use this angle aluminum as a safety mechanism. The angle aluminum that's between this coupling here and the base of the jack, so that if this hydraulic cylinder fails, it's not gonna cause the airplane to fall off the jack. The plane is safely up on jacks. Now I'll walk you through exactly what we're gonna look for in this gear swing. Okay, down in 3 green, that indicates that our landing gear is down and locked. That's always what you want to see before you land. Now when we take off and we're starting to climb up, as soon as we get a positive rate of climb, we want to lift our gear up. So we select this knob here to up, and then what we should do is see these 3 greens go out, which means the gear is not down and locked, it's unsafe at that point. And then we should see this red light here go on in transit. And then once the gear is completely up and locked, the transit light will go out and the down and 3 green lights will be extinguished. So this whole area will be dark. That's a good up cycle. In addition to verifying that the gear light indication system is working properly, we also want to check a safety feature that's tied to the throttle, and I'll kind of walk you through it. Normally, when you're landing, you pull back the throttle to idle. Now, if you pull back the throttle to idle and your gear's not down and locked, you're gonna get a horn. That horn's gonna tell you go around because your gear's not down and locked and you don't wanna belly landing on the runway, obviously. So we're gonna check this system. So we're gonna keep the throttle in idle. We're gonna bring the gear to the up position, which then will take it out of the down and 3 green, which is the safe landing position, put it into transit, and we should get a warning horn. And then as we advance the throttle up, that horn should turn off. That safety switch is tied to the pedostatic system, the airspeed indicator in particular. And so when you're traveling down the runway or if you're flying, you're indicating airspeed, and that's closing a switch. And that's tied to the gear system. And so that's how it knows if you're in idle and you're moving through the air and your gear is not down, that's a bad configuration. You get the warning horn. Okay, so it's time to test it out. And the whole time I'm doing this gear swing, I'm gonna be conscious of the potential of a hydraulic leak. I'm gonna be very conscious of any weird noises or sounds or any indications that would make me believe that something's not working properly. Plane's been sitting for a while, so fingers crossed everything will be smooth as silk. So first thing we're gonna do is turn on the battery switch. All right, now we got 3 green. That's good. Gear's down and locked. I'm gonna bring the throttle to idle. Now, when I go to the up position, I should be getting a red transit light and I should be getting a horn, and then I'll advance the throttle. That will turn off the horn, and then eventually the transit light should go off if all is working properly. So here we go. Down in 3 green, idle, gears coming up, horn. I hear flow. These are not braking. That's not good. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, that's not good. I heard flow and the 3 green didn't go out. So that means the gear is down and locked. The hydraulic pressure didn't break the down locks and start to bring it up. So I'm gonna go, I'm hoping I don't see any fluid or anything like that, and it's just a bad shuttle valve or something like that. Let's see what we got. Oh, crap. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, all right, we dumped a bunch of fluid. That is not good. That is not good at all. Oh. Okay, well, the bad news is obviously there's a hydraulic leak. That's why the gear didn't come up. That's bad. The good news is it happened in the hangar. Like I was talking about earlier, you want this stuff to happen on the ground. That's a lot of fluid that dumped out. And so
and it was quick too. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna call Eric. I'm hoping it's just a simple fitting that maybe ruptured or came loose. Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. Well, obviously we have a bunch of oil on the ground. Luckily, most of it fell in the drip pan, but still we need to contain that oil and dispose of it properly. And like as I was saying earlier when I was washing the airplane, Honolulu Airport is very strict, as they should be, on all the environmental compliance issues related to stormwater pollution. So the BMP, they call it, or a best management practice for dealing with an oil spill, is to use kitty litter. And the kitty litter actually absorbs the oil, and then you scoop that up and you dispose of that. All right, we got the jumbo size. Just spreading the kitty litter around, letting it absorb all this oil. And then I'll come back and scoop it all up and properly dispose of it. Okay, here's the deal. This airplane has retractable gear. The landing gear is drawn up. These over center locks break, and the gear comes up and retracts in the wheel wells, and then it's held up by an up lock. If at any time you lose hydraulic pressure, the up lock, it releases. Then the gear free falls down and locks back in place, and you get that down in 3 green indicator. It's not a big deal if you lose hydraulic fluid in flight. That's a good thing. It's part of the aviation engineering world, where when they design these airplanes, whether it's a small Beechcraft or a huge Airbus, they're always thinking about these things where they want things to fail in a safe position. Worst case scenario, you could actually bypass the hydraulic pressure. Now let's go take a look at what I would do in the cockpit if I had a unsafe gear indicator, which I've actually had in Kona once before. The emergency gear extension access door, it's right by the rudder pedals there, so I could reach down and open this door, and then here's a very detailed explanation of what to do. Essentially, I'll summarize it. You grab this emergency gear extension handle, which honestly you don't even need, but it's a really special tool. It probably has something to do with the FAA, that you have to have a special tool for this. And then you insert it into this section here, and then you turn counterclockwise. There you go. And so that opens that valve. It releases all the pressure, and then the gear free falls, and what you're gonna see is a down and 3 green. I called Eric and told him about the bad news of the hydraulic leak when I did the gear swing. I'm gonna look into the maintenance manual and the parts manual to see if I could kind of isolate where I think that leak is coming from and help give him a head start when he comes in to start troubleshooting. I wanted to reassure my wife especially, but all other people out there that may be a little bit worried about flying. They think that any little thing could be disastrous. It's not the case. These small aircraft are designed so well. They're so safe. It's literally safer than driving your car. That's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's a lot of plane stuff. Let me know in the comments below if it was too aviation heavy or if it was interesting. So your comments are greatly appreciated. Next episode, we're gonna be on Kolohe, sailing to Catalina with some friends. So that should be a really fun episode. Please make sure that you like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It really helps motivate me to keep going. Although so far, I've really enjoyed this YouTube experience. At the very least, it's forced me to do a lot of things I probably otherwise wouldn't be doing, and that's a good thing. But hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. And I'll see you next episode. All right, take care. Aloha.